Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for sticking with me, those of you that have. I know it's been a while, so I apologize for that, but a lot of things have been going on. Anyway, today I am going to attempt to make my own ciabatta rolls. I love ciabatta rolls. We both love ciabatta rolls. We love them for sandwiches and garlic bread and anything else that you can use a roll for. They're just so good. So I thought, why don't I learn to make my own? So that's what we're gonna do today. So this right here is the first part of the recipe. This is called the sponge. Now the sponge is made up of 1 cup of all-purpose or bread flour, 1/8 teaspoon instant yeast, and 1/2 cup room temperature water. Mix all of that together well. Be sure you kind of fold the dough into itself a few times just to make sure that everything is incorporated evenly. Then you cover it with plastic wrap, really tight. I let mine sit overnight. It's anywhere from 8 to 24 hours that it needs to sit. And it should come out looking like this. So this is the sponge. Okay, so now that our sponge is ready, it's time to mix up the rest of the dough. So let me get my mixer here. Put this to the side. Oops. I make such a mess when I bake, y'all. All right, so the ingredients for the dough are 2 cups of all-purpose or bread flours. Something I learned from someone else on the internet. You know, where else do you learn things? Just kind of fluff your flour before you put it in. Flour, 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 flour. So there's 1 cup, 2 cups. 2 cups all-purpose or bread flour. So there we go. In this little cup, I have 1.5 teaspoons of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of instant yeast. I'm gonna pour that in there. Okay. And then I've got, in this bowl, I have 3/4 of a cup of room temperature water and 1/4 of a cup of room temperature milk. Now I'm using 2%. They said whole milk, but 2% works as well. So we're going to pour all of this into the dough. And guess what else we're going to do? We're going to put our sponge in here. I'm going to get my bowl scraper here. And I'm going to put my sponge. This is some sticky dough, y'all. All right, now I need to mix this on low for about a minute. It's going to look shaggy, and I'll show you what that means, but it's going to look shaggy. Now, I don't have a paddle on my mixer. I just have the regular beaters. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna try. So let's see what happens. All right, I've got it fitted in here. Start on low, right? Yep. As I said, I do not have a paddle. Oh! Well, that was fun. Okay, this is all right so far. It's got to form a shaggy dough, and it says to let it work for about a minute. So that's what I'm gonna do. Says to scrape down the bowl as needed. That's what I'm gonna do. Get it all in there, get it well incorporated. Okay, that's pretty good. Got to speed it up a little bit. Well, I did not like how this was looking on the beaters, so we're gonna go another way. Let me get my muscles out and see if I can't do a better job myself with just I don't know, a wooden spoon or something. Cutter, you're gonna have to move out of the way, my friend, because you are not doing the job without your paddle. All right, so let's get this all mixed in together. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, I think I got what I need. Okay, now it says to change to the dough hook, which I think I've got. All right, let's get this off. All right, so now I need to change to the dough hook and knead the bread. I have what looks like a dough hook. So let's try that. And it says until smooth and shiny. It says about 10 minutes I need to do this. See what happens. Okay, the mixer part was not working out. It just was not working well. It's just not a mixer that's equipped to do bread. So what I'm gonna do is wash too much flour on this, or it's gonna be, what'd she say, it would be tough or something? I don't know, I can't really remember, but let's get this out of the bowl and I'll just knead it myself. I don't know if you know how to knead bread. I had to learn. I just want to put some flour on my hands and just kind of start working the dough. Kneading bread isn't hard. It just takes some effort, of course, with your arms and your hands. It's kind of fun and it's very rewarding when you do it. The girl that I was watching on YouTube that made this, she has one of those really expensive Bosch mixer things, and it does a great job with bread dough, especially bread dough that's sticky like this. But those things are over $500. Some are even as much as $700–800. I can't afford that. So if it's not going to work in my mixer, then it's going to work with my hands, because I could not afford that. That is just I mean, more power to her that she can afford that, but I cannot. So this is really sticky, as you can see, but that's how it's supposed to be. Really, really sticky. Ooh. As I knead the dough, I'm just wetting my fingertips to try to keep it from sticking to my fingers so much. Okay, I'm about ready to put this in a bowl, see if it rises. It's not smooth, but I think it's because it's just sticky. All right. She says we're going to cover this bowl with plastic, and we are going to let this sit in a warm spot and let it rise for 1 hour. Wanted to say happy fall, y'all. My little garden is about played out. It has really been good except for the tomatoes. Don't ask me what happened with the tomatoes. I have no idea. They just kept getting these little like brown lesions in the skin on the sides and stuff and on the tops, and you just couldn't eat them. But the plant itself grew like crazy. So I don't know what happened there. But anyway, grateful for how it looked. Anyway, it looked wonderful. Now my herbs have done wonderful. My rosemary and my basil and my parsley have all done great. I love fresh herbs. There's nothing like it when you cook. Thank you for joining me. Let's see how this bread turns out. Please, Lord, let it turn out. Okay, y'all, the dough has risen and doubled in size. And so now what we need to do, and I'm going to wet my fingers because that's what the other girl did. We're going to pick up the dough and turn it over on itself, and we're going to do that 8 times. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times. Scrape shape it, form it into a ball as best I can. Like that. Super sticky. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do. So, put the plastic back on the bowl. Make sure it's tight. And we're gonna let it rise again. About 30 minutes. Hopefully it will double in size like it says it's supposed to. So we'll see. Look at this, y'all. Tell me that's not beautiful. Would you look at that? Woo, doggies. That is gorgeous dough. All right, first I need to transfer the dough to a floured work surface, being careful not to deflate my dough. So let me find my bowl scraper. I have it here. I had to put some flour down. It said to liberally flour a surface for the dough. So here we go. Let's get this down and in, or out, sorry. Yeah, okay, there you go. Oh, you're lovely. This is beautiful dough, y'all. Look at this. All this work is paying off. It is now about, what, 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I've been working on this thing all day, y'all. So this is a process. All right, so I've done that. I've got that. Now it says, liberally flour the top of the dough and divide it in half with a bench scraper. All right, liberally flour the dough. That's what I'm gonna do right now. All right, I've liberally floured it. That looks liberal, right? Yeah, oh, look at that, y'all. Oh, gorgeous. All right, and then cut it in half. This is a bench scraper, by the way, if you weren't positive what that was. Look at this. Y'all, this dough is so light and so airy. Look at this. I am beside myself with awe. Look at them. They're beautiful. Turn one piece of dough, cut side up. God, you should feel this. This is amazing. Cut side up. That's the cut side. I guess I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Okay. Dust it with flour. Okay. I'm going to dust it with flour. Okay. Look at that bubble. Perfect. Woohoo. Okay. All right. With well-floured hands, let me do that. Well-floured hands. My hands look pretty well-floured and they're clean. With well-floured hands, press the dough into a rough 12 by 6 inch triangle. I have no idea what 12 inches is or 6 inches, so I'm just gonna have to guess here. Look at how this is looking here. It says don't deflate it. Just try to pull it apart. Make it a triangle as much as you can. Not a triangle, I'm sorry, a rectangle. You dumbbell. Okay, fold the shorter sides of the dough, which is these ends, in on each other. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. So 1 and 2, like you're folding a letter into thirds to form a 7.4 inch rectangle. Repeat with the second piece of dough. Okay, there's 1. Let's get this one. Let's put this one into a rectangle. There we go. There we go. I don't want to flatten it. Hope I'm not doing that. Okay. And then we want to fold over that end and fold over that end. Okay, so there we go. Now, I've got these two ready. Now I need to flour 2 pieces of parchment paper. So here's one I'm going to flour. 1 piece of parchment paper here. Liberally flour your parchment paper, okay? Liberally flour it. That's what I did. That looks pretty liberal to me. And then you're going to put your seam side down to the parchment sheets, dust with flour, and cover. Why is this one not working? This is getting on my nerves here. Okay. All right, so it needs to be in a triangle. I did put the seam side down. I'm trying to make it into a bigger triangle here because, there we go. All right. There's one. Okay, there's one. Gotta do the same thing with the other one. So let me put you over here. Put flour on it. Okay, did that. Now we're gonna put the second rectangle down, seam side down. And the girl that I watched, she just kind of pulled on it to stretch it into a triangle. I'm sorry, I keep saying triangle. Rectangle. Good Lord, Sue. Learn your shapes, girl. So let's just pull this, pull it, make sure it's going into a little rectangle here. I have no idea if it's the right size because I cannot estimate. This one's worrying me a little bit because he looks a little flat. So I hope he's okay. Okay, all right, so we're just gonna leave it like that. All right, we have 2 rectangles. Okay, they have to sit at room temperature for 30 minutes. I'm gonna put a towel over these and see what happens. Okay, there they are, dusted with flour. There's one, get one more. I'm gonna let them stay there for 30 minutes while my oven is heating up. Okay, you guys, time for the next phase. I'm supposed to flour my fingers really well. Let me do that. Oh, as good as I'm gonna get it. Okay, and then I'm gonna take this off. And I'm just gonna, it says to shape them into 6 by 10 rectangles. So I have no idea what a 6 by 10 looks like, but this is what I'm going to do, okay? I am making rolls. So now I'm supposed to cut these into even, let's see, cut it in half, and then let's cut each half in half. I think they look a little long and not big enough. So let's do this. Wonder if that's okay to do. I have no idea. All right, that one's gonna be in rolls because they look a little oblong, and we're gonna bake this one into the rectangle. So now I gotta get them onto the baking sheet, right? So I'm supposed to spray them with water. So I do have a spray bottle here. This is the one I use for painting. I did put fresh water in here. So I'm just gonna stand back and spray like it says. Okay, I sprayed them. There's one. Okay, God, that pan is hot. All right, so we're gonna cook them, bake them like that. I need to spray them again. And then I gotta spray them like a couple more times in the first 5 minutes of baking. Here's the first of 2 sprays in the first 5 minutes of baking. All right, so this is the second spray within the first 5 minutes of baking. Tell me those don't look gorgeous. Can you see that? There we go. All right. We're gonna let them bake. They have to bake anywhere from 22 to 27 minutes. Look at how gorgeous. I mean, how gorgeous are these? They're fabulous. All right, so we have to let them cool, and they need to cool on the rack here. So, look at that. Oh my gosh. Y'all, I am beside my little self. because this is beautiful. Woohoo! There we go. Oh my gosh, that hurts. Okay, gosh, y'all. All right, I have to bring you over here to get a close-up of this. Y'all have got to see this. Look at that. Woohoo! Oh my gosh, they're beautiful. Holy smacks, I can't wait until they cool and we can open one up. My gosh, these things turned out so good. They're so fluffy and the crust is so crusty. They're excellent. I'm so happy. So I decided that tonight we were going to have hamburgers and use the rolls as our hamburger bun, and boy, did that turn out great. Those burgers were excellent, especially on these rolls. Remember those red onions we pickled last week? Well, I'm going to use them on our burgers, and boy, are they good. Look at the color on these things. There is nothing like it. They are excellent on just about everything. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Have a great day.